Static ads are still the backbone of many profitable e-commerce campaigns, and I'm about to show you exactly how and when to use them. Most brands are either ignoring them completely or executing them wrong and leaving a massive amount of revenue on the table. If you don't know who I am, my name is Josh, and I'm the founder of Dreamers, and I've been designing for over 10 plus years, and I specialize as a creative partner helping e-commerce brands anywhere between 6 to 8 figures scale their brands with static ads. My static ad creatives have been the top performers across health, beauty, wellness, and lifestyle niches, and I've seen what converts and what flops. In this deep dive, you'll be getting improved static ad formats that I personally use, what they are, the psychology behind why they work, when to use them based on your audience, and also how to execute them properly to get the maximum conversions. So let's jump in. Statics are made for some of the brands I've worked with. There's a lot of variety in terms of just different type of brands and formats, which we'll start to get into in a bit. But before I do that, I want to just talk about why I believe static ads still work in 2025. So there's three core reasons, and they kind of all tie in together. So first of all is speed and cost. So statics overall are a lot faster and cheaper to produce than video ads. And this allows brands to collect data, learn, iterate fast. And having these fast feedback loops are so important when you want to try and find when the message is fast. Second of all, clear and direct messaging. So when you have a static ad that's designed really well, these can deliver strong direct messages instantly. And this allows you to isolate and hit home on one key message at a time or USP without the distraction of a long video ad. And then third is scalability. So statics are effective across all parts of the funnel, whether it's top, middle, or bottom. And these help to drive consistent traffic and conversions for your brand while also informing and complementing on your video efforts, which ties into this first point about these fast, rapid feedback loops. Because if you're getting data from your statics about which messaging works, you can then take those messages and then you can start to use those as hooks in your video ads and then scale from there. So it basically helps you to create this ecosystem of whereby you're just testing multiple different angles and messages, which then you can just feed into your different marketing campaigns across different touch points as well. So it doesn't have to be video ads. It can also be, your social media content. It can also be your email marketing. It just basically helps you to start to understand your customers a lot more, and it's just an easy way to basically do that. So going to the foundations. So the statics you make in terms of the formats depends on what you want to communicate and to who, and it must be aligned with the following: the market awareness, so how aware your customers are about their problems and your solution. And there's 5 stages of awareness, which is unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, and most aware. As you can see over here, it just basically talks about how aware, again, your customers are about the problem, the solutions, your product, and the benefits of your product. And also the market sophistication. And this is basically about how many similar products or ads has your customer seen. And there's 5 stages to this. There's first to market, second to market, the third stage, fourth stage, and the fifth stage. And just to explain this as simple as possible, it's about how competitive your niche and market is. And these 2 are in the book Brave for Advertising by Eugene Schwartz, if you haven't read it, but I'm assuming you have if you're creating ads yourself. But I highly recommend reading it if you haven't. Going on to the first one is before and after ads. Now, for these are perfect for the problem aware and solution aware people. So starting off with the first format I'm going to go through is the before and after ads. And these are perfect for problem aware and solution aware people. So people who are seeking. So starting off with the first format, I'm going to go with the before. So the first form I'm going to go through is the before and after ad. So the first format I'm going to go through is the before and after. And this is basically where it's a split screen and you're showing a before state and after state that customers have when before they use your product and after they use their product, basically. And this is perfect for problem aware and solution aware audiences and people who are looking for tangible change, whether it's weight loss, better skin, muscles, so mainly physical changes. But it also can be used for emotional changes, which I'll show you in a second. And you basically want to be able to show them that you can take them from their current painful reality into their desired dream outcome. And you need to basically imagine your customers as the hero in their own story, and you're taking them on a transformational journey. And this is talked about in a book, Brand Story by Donna Miller. And basically, for before and after ads, they are a great way to build credibility that your product can deliver on the transformation that your customers want. So just going to go over some examples. So for example, this one by My Way Up, you want to make sure that transformation that you're showing to your customers are realistic, believable, and relatable. As you see over here, this woman's transformation for 12 weeks from this product, it's a great transformation, but it looks realistic as well, and it tells the same woman as well. Her skin isn't like 100% back to normal or perfect, but it's a massive improvement. And when people see this, they're going to know that, oh, okay, this is actually something I could probably do themselves. I'm sorry, they can actually experience themselves. So they're more likely to trust that compared to an ad whereby it's from week 0 to like week, 3, her skin's perfect. So you want to make sure it's actually relatable and actually realistic. Then you can also use AI images to visually communicate the change. And this is good when you want to communicate a change if it's emotional. So this is a before and after ad I made for the brand Fifre. So this isn't really like a weight loss, like this isn't a weight loss before and after. This is more about how a person feels before and after. And this is to do with gut health. So before, the person was bloated, stressed, and stuck in sweatpants. And then now, after having Cosmic Cure, which is Fifre's product, she now feels clear, calm, and confident. And I'm just basically communicating like the vibe and feeling. So like basically wanted to hide your body versus wanted to show off your body and be active again. Some more examples as well. We've got this over here from True Height, which basically shows before where a person is, I'm guessing it's young, and it's shorter and small compared to now and after where they're a lot taller and they've got growth spurt. For this one, it has 3 call outs. So it shows how the person felt as well before, or what experience, such as feeling drained and low on endurance. And then also has the after, where it talks about them, having healthier bones and feeling stronger and feeling energized. So yeah, it's a good way to, if it's harder to just like show the image to communicate the before and after, also add some call outs there to kind of tie it into everything and paint a more vivid picture. Then we have this one over here. For before and after to do with stretch marks. Adding reviews over here also helps to add some more credibility to this before and after. And also, again, paints a better picture. Then we have this one over here by Gruns. I like this one a lot. It's kind of like playful because it shows, how the person feels before having grunts and after. So it shows the person being dead versus them being Superman. So it kind of exaggerates it a bit, but it works for this brand because it's quite a playful brand, and also helps to communicate the change in state. And then finally, again, the before and after you use doesn't have to be a physical change or from an actual person, but it can actually be of a change in situational state. So before, I think this is Hungry Root. So before, it shows an empty fridge, and people can relate to that, whereby they come home from work and they have an empty fridge, they've not done any shopping or meal planning because they just have stressful lives and they've got a lot going on. Versus having Hungry Root, which is after having a fridge full, which is what people want. It's like a desired reality for some people for this, I guess, for this group of people who they're trying to target. And just showing a full fridge, people like seeing a full fridge. So just by showing the before and after is a great way to kind of show the exact reality they can face when actually experiencing your product. Now, the next one is us versus them. And this is another comparison ad, just like the before and after. So you're basically comparing your product to something else, which is going to be your competitors or alternatives. And this is basically where you want to position your product as superior. And this basically directly addresses the comparison your shoppers are already doing in their heads and simplifies decision making by highlighting on the key differentiators. And this must be things that they actually care about and actually understand. And to do this, you can go and do Amazon or your competitors' reviews on the website, and or even Reddit, and basically find what these people are actually complaining about alternative products in the market. And then you want to be able to then position your product as superior to that. I wouldn't make up, for example, if you're comparing your brand to another brand and another brand has a lot of sugar, and you want to basically position yourself as having less sugar, that only works if you actually have less sugar. don't just make it up. Actually, make sure the comparisons you're doing actually are legit comparisons. Does that make sense? And this works best for people who are solution aware, where they know there's other solutions by weighing off the options, or people who are product aware, so they know who your competitors are, and they just want to see if you're better. And this works best for the stage 3 to 4 sophistication stage. So this is where it's a bit more competitive, the market. And this is just where you want to expand on your mechanism, which basically means you want to expand on what makes your product unique and different compared to other options in the market, which people have probably seen before and are tired of, I guess, experimenting with. And this works the best with people who are analytical and have tried other failed solutions. Well, tried other solutions and have failed it. So they're kind of like giving up a bit of hope. And they want to make sure that, a solution that they're actually going to use for their problem actually is backed up. So just going through this briefly. You see over here with the Aura Ring, I'll start with this one. It's very clean and clear as to what they're comparing against. So the Aura Ring versus other wearables, and it blurs out the competing brands. All brands. I'm not sure what brand this could be, but you can see over here the callouts are very clean, very concise, easy to understand, and you want to make sure that the callouts you have on the left and the right contrast against each other. For example, bulky versus sleek, too casual versus good for occasions. And also you want to make sure that the background colors, there's the contrast between the background of the them versus us. You want to make sure that for you it's bold and vibrant to draw attention, to make it look as if your product is the hero, versus the other one where you want to use like dull colors, like it's used over here, for example, with Trip, whereby it's gray background versus a vibrant blue and yellow background for Trip. And they also feel Alube as well. Good, they've done a good job over here by putting the green, very bold green, versus a very like muted color tone of other mascaras. You can also use comparison tables. And this is great when you want to compare your brand to other alternatives where there's more than, I guess, one you want to compare it to. And you want to compare it against different criteria. So this Waterboy, they've compared it to other electrolytes in the market to help with hangovers, and they've put mainly for hangovers, and they've put criteria that people would care about when it comes to making options, making comparisons and making a decision about options, such as sugar counts, electrolytes, vitamin B12, etc., etc. And overall positions Waterboy superior. Even if the price is more than others, it justifies it by stating the fact that it has better, nutrients and electrolyte counts. So it's a good way to use this if you want to position your product as being, even though it's expensive, it's just better. Again, for this one, this calls out an actual competitor, and it compares against ingredients and nutrients. Yes, in both brands, and it's just good for people who are health conscious, who actually care about the ingredients and read the labels, and are aware of the ingredients and how it benefits them. Just by having a list of ingredients like that, it's quite long, and having a tick next to it versus this over here, and it's contrasted, and it's just not as powerful. Then position your product as highly superior. Then we have this one over here. So for Bearaby weighted blanket. So this one's pretty straightforward. It's just comparing the blanket to 4, I guess, failed solutions potentially that their customers have probably experienced. And it's not comparing. It's not like it doesn't have any call outs like these ones, but it's very good way to basically position your product as an all-in-one solution. So it basically shows that it's you don't need all of this. If you just get this, you can replace all the different solutions or methods you're currently using to solve your sleep issues. And then the Udi one, just the last one as well. I like this one a lot because it shows not only a comparison of the physical products, but also the emotional state that someone goes through, just like the before and after. It's basically like a before and after in a way. And us versus them. So it does regular PJs, looks dull. The woman in the photo as well, she looks like unimpressed and looks a bit like embarrassed, versus the Udi woman pajamas where she looks more relaxed and calm, and also the colors of the pajamas are a lot more vibrant. So just overall just makes it a lot more appealing to the customer. Then we have the testimonial social proof ad. So this is very powerful because people trust people more than they trust brands. And overall, this reduces the perceived risk and makes the prospect feel as if they're making a safe choice by purchasing from your product. And the best testimonials are from people who are your exact customer persona. And it best works for people who are solution aware. So they would like to see other people succeed with a solution, and people who are also product and most aware. The people who are aware of your product and I guess what it does, but it needs to be reinforced by testimonials before they make a decision and overcome any final objections. And overall, it's just good for people who are just skeptical and just value community and overall recommendations from other people like them. So I'll start with the first one over here. This one's pretty powerful because it's got strong, bold colors in red, contrasts well with the testimonial itself. And when you want to make these testimonial ads, you want to make sure that you want to make sure that's easy to skim. Because when people are scrolling on their feeds, they're scrolling really fast and they don't really read things for that long. So you want to make sure that when you're creating these testimonial ads, you want to bold the most important parts and the beneficial parts of the review. For example, for hydrogen, they've put low sugar and delicious like taste in bold, which is probably the most important thing in this review. So when people see this, they know straight away, okay, it's low sugar. Okay, this tastes good. Done. So make sure you do that. You can also take testimonials or reviews from social media, which I've done over here for this ad for Fifth, which did really well. And you just take a screenshot of it, and also I just make sure to hide people's names as well, unless they actually give permission to share it. But again, this just makes it seem more authentic and organic because you're actually taking actual customer words and actually just placing it on there rather than you typing it out, because people may think you just sort of made it up. Then we have this one over here. So testimonials, as mentioned before, are a great way to tackle any objections head on. And this ad over here by Dirty is basically tackling the objection of taste head on by saying it's so delicious, I'm constantly sipping it. And also adds social proof over here on the bottom in terms of, I guess, media it's been in, such as Vogue, GQ, Standard, etc., etc. So overall, this is a very strong social proof style ad. Then we have this one over here by IMA. Really like this one. It's very organic and doesn't look like an ad, which we'll go into in a second with some of the ad formats. But for this one, the reason why it works well is because it's a screenshot of a review, and that's it. And it doesn't look like an ad, as I mentioned before. And it's, even though it's quite wordy, it works because it basically walks you through the person's journey of purchasing the product and how it fits into their day-to-day life. People can resonate with that and just makes it just seem more authentic. Doesn't look made up. It's actually written from an actual person, and people trust people, as mentioned before. So this was really, really. The thing is, it's not even creative, but it is creative at the same time. Because when everyone's making these polished ads, just by making an ad which just doesn't look like an ad and putting it in there, it just works. It's weird, but it works. And then we have Trumps. This one I really like. And again, it adds human delight into the ad. And with this one, it's a good example of it's not about it's what you communicate, not how you communicate. So it says, my son is a health coach, and as soon as I showed him one stick, he checked the ingredients and tasted it, and we bought 24. So it's humorous, but it actually communicates something. It communicates a couple things. So first, my son is a health coach. This basically shows that this product is suitable for people who are health conscious, and also the fact that it's we'll go for it. And as soon as I showed him one stick, he checked the ingredients and tasted it, and we bought 24. So he checked the ingredients, and basically the fact that he checked the ingredients and tasted it and bought 24 shows that the ingredients are clean and suitable for someone who is seen as a health coach. So he's got credibility. And also the fact that he tasted it and he bought 24 shows that it must taste really good. So it talks about three things. One, it's good for people who are health conscious and it's credible. Two, ingredients are clean. And three, it tastes great. So this is just a very easy ad, clean, simple, yet it does communicate a lot from that. And just overall, make sure just include like 5 stars. It just does a good job of, I guess, reinforcing the fact that this is a positive review. And then finally, you can also run negative ads or negative reviews. And this is scroll stopping because most people, when they see ads, they assume it's going to be positive. So by seeing a negative review, it does one or two things. One, it shows how confident you are about your product. And two, if a negative review actually makes your product look effective, then it's a win. For example, for this mat over here, I think this is like a pressure mat. I'm not sure what it is. I've completely forgotten. But I think it's to do with the pressure. So the fact that this person's complaining because it's like too painful, it shows that it has a lot of pressure. And obviously the pressure from this mat makes the mat more effective. So again, yeah, it's quite humorous in a way, and also just makes the product just seem strong and effective. Next, we have the product image, headline, and call ads. And these are probably the most popular type of static ads you probably see a lot of the times when you're probably making yourselves. And for these ones, they obviously still work, and it's all about the messaging for this to work. So this one basically just shows the product clearly and highlights key benefits. And the headline needs to be clear, direct, and compelling. It's mainly about the headline, I'd say, and the copy and the messaging. And it just needs to be straightforward and informative so your customers can quickly understand what your product is and what it offers. And this works across problem aware, solution aware, and product aware. And it's probably best for stage 2 and 3 sophistication stages. It can work for all, but it depends on the messaging, of course. And also stage 5, definitely. Stage 5 is basically where you have to basically tap into people's identity. But I won't go into it too much. And also you want to only include call outs that your customers care about, just like you would do it for the comparison ads. Call outs are really important. It doesn't have to be anything. Don't overthink your call outs. Keep it very, very simple and clear, and make sure it's just what they actually care about, which we'll go through in these examples. And overall, it's just a great way to easily test different messaging. Because for these ones, you can just basically create, for example, one ad like this and just change the headline and create like 3 to 5 variations. And just by changing the headline, you're able to see which messaging resonates best with your audience and double down on that, if that makes sense. So first one example over here, this one's strong. With this headline, it basically calls out the desire customer wants, which is to feel like you're 18 again, and it has 3 call outs which resonates and relates to it, which is increase your T levels, increase your muscle growth, and elevate strength and endurance. So all of these 3 are very clear, concise, and compelling call outs that your customers would want, which also ties into the fact that you feel like you're 18 again. And it's very obvious as to what this product is promising to customers and who is trying to target. Next, we have this one over here, grab natural freshness. This one again has 3 call outs: single use, plastic free, compostable reels, and the smooth formula. All of this ties into the fact that this is a natural solution through freshness, and again helps to differentiate the product. This one as well by Huel, this one's strong. So this one basically says this is a meal, not a protein shake. So this bold headline helps to differentiate this product from alternatives in the market. People probably assume there's so many protein shakes in the market, but just by going the opposite and being like, this isn't a protein shake, actually this, it just positions the product in a different way. And also it's got a call outs there, which kind of taps into that. It talks about, it's got protein like protein shake, but it's got vitamins and minerals like a meal. So yeah, strong ad over here. We've got this one over here, which I made for odoplexion. Just calls out a specific problem very simply and a solution to it. End road boredom with a simple device. And I've got 3 call outs, which basically relate to this. So plug and play setup, easy to use basically. 0 interruptions guaranteed, so you can watch it without like thinking about it lagging or buffering. And also got crystal clear 4K streaming, which shows that it's high quality. And then also got over here some of the apps that this device can show, because it's very straightforward, clear, and just communicates it very, very just easily. This one over here by Methylene Blue, again, strong headline. It basically calls out
the alternatives, which is coffee without the crash, and it has 4 callouts here, which align with what these customers actually want. And then this one over here, it states what the product is, what it will do, and the benefits relate to the overall claim that they're trying to make. So for these ones overall, it's just about making a strong claim for your headlines and make sure that when a customer sees the headline, it's as if they're speaking to them directly about their problem or a solution they're looking for. And again, for headlines, you just want to keep it. Don't overthink your headlines. Don't make the same claims everyone else is making, I would say, but make sure that it actually is something that your customers are actually thinking about in their heads and actually relates to them. And just makes it understandable. Make it like direct and make it clear. Don't get too clever. Clear, not clever is the best thing to do with headlines. But yeah. Next, we have the ingredients breakdown. And this works best where the products, where what's inside of the product or how it's made is a key differentiator. And this is mainly for brands where it's a consumable brand, whether it's a supplement, a powder, a drink, food, anything of those. This is when it works the best. And it appeals to the logical side of the brain. And it helps to educate your customers and highlight transparency. And you need to basically explain why these ingredients or features matter for the desired outcome. Rather than just stating ingredients, you want to basically tell it why these customers should care about these ingredients, right? And these work best for people in a solution aware stage. So they're looking for specific features and ingredients, so because they do their research, and also people who are product aware. So they want to basically understand your product a bit more, to understand what's in it, and make comparisons compared to other solutions in the market. And this works best for stage 3 and 4 sophistication, where you are introducing or elaborating on a unique mechanism or formulation. So this is just a good way to basically position your product as something that is superior than others, and introduce it as a way that will basically give them a solution that they want that other solutions didn't give to them, and actually helps you back up your claims. So this works best for people who are detailed orientated, who actually do their research, who are health conscious, and they read the labels basically and take these things seriously. So just going through a few examples. For everyday dose, as I mentioned before, you want to basically talk about for each ingredient how it benefits the customers directly. So over here it has different talks about different mushrooms such as lion's mane and chaga, and also talk about coffee as well. But instead of just stating it there, not everyone understands what lion mane or chaga does, or collagen does, right? They've heard about these terms before or ingredients before, but it doesn't mean they specifically know how it will benefit their life. But just by putting here, supports memory and focus and benefits the gut. For chaga, boosts immunity and reduces inflammation. Just by speaking in some of the benefits and language that your customers actually need as it relates to your product, it's a great way just to do that. And you can just put a couple words. It doesn't have to be anything long or detailed. For example, with this one with mud water, it does the same thing with lime mane for focus and cognition. Chaga again, immune support. It's just keep it simple and just make it very easy for your customers to understand. How your ingredients tie into the transformation. And also for the visuals you use for it, you can also you can show your product render. You can show ingredients itself. You do half and half like it's done over here with mud water. And you can actually do this using ChatGPT now. Probably we can just do is maybe, I don't know, upload a photo of your product render, get all the ingredients, and then just make a prompt being like, please create for me a half and half image. Or even get an example like this and just ask for it to reference it. There's just multiple ways you can prompt it, basically, which is great with AI just kind of coming into this world right now. I've done this one for fifth grade. This one did really well, and for fifth grade, I had a lot of ingredients, but I only picked 4 because I don't want to add too much information. Because at the same time, whilst adding information is important to help your customer make a decision, you don't want to give them too much information because it's going to cause information overload. And when people are given too much information, rather than having it made simple for them, instead of them actually taking action, they'll just scroll because their brain doesn't can't process too much at the same time, especially when they're in that scrolling cycle. I'm sure when you guys are scrolling on your phone, if something just seems a bit like when you see something that you need to actually use your brain just switches off immediately. So make things as simple as possible. So for this one, I just picked 4 ingredients which I felt like were the strongest and had the best benefits as related to this product. And then finally, yeah, I said mentioned before, add ingredients, add images of the ingredients. You can probably get stock images. You can use ChatGPT or Midjourney to create them for you. But it's just a good way to just visualize how the ingredients looks like and just makes it a bit more credible. This one, often discount ads, I won't go into it too much detail. It's pretty straightforward. So sometimes when you're sometimes a great offer is just what you need to nudge someone over the edge. And this helps to create a sense of urgency and provides a clear incentive to act now. So this is the best for people who are most aware. So they might most likely know, like, and trust you and are just waiting for a good deal. And are people who are product aware. And an offer could just basically help sway them from one of your competitors. And this works best for people who are price sensitive. This works best for people who are existing customers or people who are just warm. And for these ones, just make the offer the hero. Make sure that you use big, bold text for the discount. And this works best where you're using this for a holiday, whether it's Black Friday, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, Easter, etc., etc. It's just good to put in your ad account and just run to kind of collect the extra revenue. So it's just making that bottom funnel. Like, you can't really scale an ad account with these type of ads, but it's just good to, as in, just only with these type of ads. And so I feel like most people assume static ads are only good for these SOAR ads. But as you've seen before, you can use this across all stages of the funnel. But these are still important to run. So as mentioned, make sure you use a bold, clear headline with the offer. This one over here is very straightforward. Buy one, get one free with a photo of the product with some customers. This one over here is very compelling by AgeMate. It's got a one kit, which I've seen a lot of brands do, which shows it tells you in the headline, it's free, it's valued at X amount, and it shows you what you're going to get. Again, using the word free, and it also has a call to action with a guarantee. So it's a no-brainer, basically. So you just want to make your offer seem as if it's a no-brainer, just through the messaging. And this one over here from Dirty World, this one's probably I think this one's like a New Year, New Me style ad offer. 20% off, start your best year now. It's very straightforward. Nothing more to be said. And obviously the one from Golly, now $14.24. Very straightforward. I won't go into it too much, but I'm sure you get the gist. Now we're going to go to UGC ads. So these are definitely a lot more popular now in this day and age, especially with AI. I think people crave authenticity a lot more. And this just basically features content created by your customers and is presented in a way that feels genuine and unpolished. And authenticity and social proof are incredibly powerful because people trust recommendations from real people far more than trusted brands, as we spoke about previously in the testimonial section, or formats, shall I say. And UGC feels relatable and overall just reduces skepticism overall. And this works best for people who are in the solution aware stage or product aware stage, because they like to see people benefit from the product. And also it helps to build trust and overcome objections, and also can attract people who are in problem aware stage as well, if the UGC highlights how the problem solves a common issue that they solve and just makes it seem relatable. And it's very effective for people who are just wary of overly polished ads. As I mentioned before, AI, there's a lot of AI stuff out there in the ads. People making AI statics, which I've got my own opinions about, which I'll probably make a video about. But they can work, I guess. But people have seen a lot of ads that look exactly the same. But having an ad that looks unpolished, it just kind of just helps to build trust and helps to just stop the scroll because people aren't used to it. Not that people aren't, assuming it's an ad. So over here, I've got some examples. So this one over here, by Wow, it's very straightforward. It's kind of like an offer ad, just promote a new product. Just shows a girl, a woman showing a new product with some captions over there. And the product itself does all the talking and all the selling pretty much. Then we have this one by Surreal. It uses like Instagram story captions about someone raving about the experience, and it just looks organic, right? Like if you saw this on your story, if you just saw this on someone's story or someone's post, or your feed, sorry, it doesn't look like an ad, and it does look like it does look enticing in terms of the show itself. Just the way it's been, like the captions, the way it's written as well, it just makes it seem organic, as if someone's actually enthusiastic about it. It looks like it's a review. Then we have this one over here, influencer, I guess raving about a product, and again it's a jewelry product, so this just does most of the talking. And then this one over here by My Way Up, again uses Instagram captions. And when you're trying to make these type of ads, it's important that you use the voice of the customer and use less marketing words. So don't use these typical buzzwords. Make it seem as authentic as possible. If you have to study your customer reviews, your customer comments, go on Reddit and really put yourself in your customer's shoes and understand how they speak. Maybe just get like a long, like maybe get some examples of comments, reviews, and just put it to ChatGPT and just help it to use it as training data to help you write all of this. If you are basically making up these captions, then I'd highly recommend it. And also Instagram QA formats are a great way as well. These are great because they help to tackle objections and also any customer FAQs. So for these ones, and also just for any of these ones, actually, what you could actually do is go on Instagram, you create like a burner account, and just get a UGC photo, put it on there, and just write the captions itself on the story directly as if you're posting it. Post it, and then view the story on, let's say, you probably view it yourself anyway on your own account or your other main account, and take a screenshot of it. So just so that it looks more organic. I know there's some templates that people have on Figma or on Canva, wherever you use, which allows you to use some of this. But if you make it easier for yourself to make it seem authentic, then I'd definitely recommend just replicating it on Instagram itself. Now we have native and social media ads. Again, this is authentic as well. It's kind of like UGC in a way because it's kind of like unpolished, and this is just made to blend seamlessly into the user's feed and looks more like organic content rather than ad. This basically just mimics the interface and aesthetic of the platforms that they currently use, such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Apple Notes, iMessage, etc., which we'll see some examples of here. And the power in this lies in how subtle it is, as this drops the audience's guard. And by the time they realize it's an ad, they've already gauged the content and already read it and have learned more about it. And this works well for people who are unaware or problem aware, as these are way less salesy and these can create curiosity. And these are also effective in the solution aware stage if it discusses a solution. And this overall just cuts through the noise in highly sophisticated markets where users are, or customers in fact, are tired of traditional ads that they see. And this works best with younger demographics who are good at spotting and ignoring ads because they've just been shown so many ads all the time. They're getting used to it now. But also it works for older audiences, especially on Facebook, where people are probably a bit more skeptical, especially for all the audience have been sold so many failed solutions. So overall, we have this over here, Facebook comment one. This one's pretty good because it's like a real person who talks about a problem they had, and then someone commenting below about the solution that they use. So it seems like as if it's like a customer like review, or what's the word? Like a peer review or recommendation. And to do this, you can either get this template, or you could just replicate this yourself using like a fake Facebook account and then screenshotting it, or just get actual customer reviews on your Facebook comments for your ads. And if you see something that's like this, then I definitely recommend just screenshotting it and taking it. Then we have a Reddit one as well, from Berry. And this one over here is just a Reddit post of someone just raving about a product, Berry in this case, and how it's worked to solve a problem that most people would be facing, that this product is trying to solve. And it goes about it in detail. And again, the fact that it's on Reddit, people use Reddit a lot for recommendations, and they go on Reddit before they make any big decisions. So this is just a good way to just show it to them directly in their face, rather than have to go on Reddit and search themselves. Again, you can either find people discussing this on Reddit if people are discussing about your product, or you can, I think this templates on for example, you can use Creative OS. I think they have like a Reddit template for that to do it, or you can just create it yourself if you're, I guess, proficient on tools like Figma. And then we have Facebook Messenger as well, of someone just raving about products they received. Again, it seems authentic and organic, as if someone's sharing it with their friends. We've got Apple Notes as well, which I've seen quite a lot of these ads actually, and they seem to do pretty well. And this is just all about the copy, pretty much. You need a strong headline, which kind of sparks curiosity to get people to carry on reading. Which you see over here, it just seems organic and authentic, which I really like about this one. Got another Reddit one as well. This one doesn't really just rave about a product. It talks about how someone is asking about a product, if it works or not, and then someone replying saying that it does. So again, it's kind of like a objection type ad whereby it helps tackle any objections people have directly from it. Then we have Twitter as well. It's just kind of like a before and after as well, but again, it just is in the same interface as Twitter. Again, it makes it just look more organic and authentic, as if someone's raving about their transformation themselves rather than the brand itself just showing it into your face. This one again, like another before and after ad on Instagram DMs, and then we also have chomps again with an iMessage type ad. So overall, these are just used to kind of camouflage into the feed and seem as if it's native. And again, it just basically drops people's guards because it doesn't look like an ad, but the messaging for this is just spot on for it to actually work. And then we have ugly lo-fi ads, and this, I feel like these three, as in UGC, native, and ugly ads, probably fit into the same bucket because they are less polished than the other ads I showed you before. And again, yeah, the characters by their unpolished and raw aesthetic, and they stand out just because they just don't look like typical polished ads. And these work for people who are unaware or problem aware. Just by the fact that they look a bit like weird and unusual can grab attention. And this also works for most aware as well. If the ugliness is used to deliver a very clear and direct offer or message. And this works well in highly sophisticated markets where people are, just shown so many polished ads and shown so many big claims and the same claims. Everything just looks the same. So this just basically helps to cut through the noise. And this is very good for audiences who appreciate authenticity, humor, and are just tired of perfect ads. So just going through this briefly in terms of ugly ads and how they're normally structured and how they look like and how you can create them. So it's like the piece of paper with a marker, where people are just making a strong claim, or for example, collagen actually works. Again, it doesn't look like an ad, just a piece of paper, someone to take a photo of the iPhone or the product, and that's it. Then we have this over here, my neutral hydration hack, with a piece of paper and the product in the photo as well. Then we have a whiteboard as well for these three. So for this one, I forgot this product is. It's like turn your phone to a gaming console. But yeah, the headline there is strong. This is my favorite way to play Fortnite. It's got a product there. It just looks unusual, right? But what I like about it is that it's strong. The messaging is strong. And with all of these three ads, even though it's like a ugly ad, it still follows the same format and fundamentals or a static ad, which is a strong headline, a product render in a way, and then some callouts which is relevant to the customer persona would actually care about it, such as they care about tactile feedback, comfortable design, the fact they can play Xbox, PS5, Apple Arcade, etc., and also the price as well. So it communicates the same message that a normal polished ad would, but the fact that it looks unpolished, it just basically helps to gain attention, basically attract the attention of their ideal customer. Again, these two do the same thing as well. Then we have this one over here, which seems to be doing pretty well, whereby some face or body part has some text on it. I think this is used using ChatGPT, but I need to confirm. But you can basically use ChatGPT to basically create something similar to this, just from prompting. You just have to just fix the product label over here because it does seem to distort most of the time when it comes to product labels. It just depends on how you I guess carry that out. And then you have sticky notes as well. People use sticky notes, or just get a notepad and just write on there. So these can basically just be made very simply at home. We just get products, write it down somewhere, on a piece of paper in terms of like your message, and take a photo of it. But just make sure that the messaging is spot on. Like it's all about the messaging more than anything. And I guess how it looks, like it needs to look unusual in a way, and still draw attention. If you actually want this to work, for example, this still draws attention even though it's unpolished because of the way of the composition, and this one as well. Again, I like the fact that I just like the way it's been shot. Even though it's unpolished, it still looks polished in a way. So that's something to consider. And finally, the last ad I'll go through is the news, media, and editorial style ads. So for these ones, these use third-party credibility. Using third-party credibility, these ads borrow authority from trusted sources or mimic an informational style. And this helps to build trust and authority because people are more likely to believe claims if they appear to come from an objective or expert source. And for these, copy is mainly a lot of the times indirect. And the aim basically for this is just to get a click to an editorial landing page where the story unfolds and expands further. So for these ads, you're not selling it in a headline about your product. You're not specifically saying, "Oh, this is the product I'm selling." You're kind of like teasing your solution, you're not selling it. And this works best for problem aware and solution aware. And it's just great for educating your audience overall. And this works well in markets whereby people are skeptical of just ads in general and direct selling, and for people who value research, expert opinions, and are looking for in-depth info. So just going through some examples over here. As you can see, it's basically using news and media that people are used to, such as Daily Mail, Independent, Pop Sugar, etc., etc. And you want to make sure that the news source or media you've used is relevant to your product or niche. Maybe it's featured in there before. Maybe it's, for example, Daily Mail, Australia. Let's say it's Australia brand. This makes sense for it. You just want to make sure that it just makes sense. Like the news source you picked is actually relevant. If not, people are not going to really trust it or believe it. And we also have this one over here. It's kind of like a viral style ad, whereby it's not actually a news source, but it looks like those type of like news articles or I guess news posts that these meme pages post on Instagram and Facebook. For example, why millions are ditching fast food for this new healthy meal alternative. And in most cases, when it happens, they have like a product. They have like an image of like either like an image of something that's relevant to the problem or the solution, but they don't actually show the product. But if they do, they normally show it in a circle like this over here. And again, if you kind of go through some of these examples, they actually don't state the solution itself. For example, channel Hailey Bieber's glow with these road skin dupes. It borrows I guess the credibility from Hailey Bieber or the name of Hailey Bieber and rose skin to maybe stop the scroll. And also it dupes. It doesn't actually say the product, it says road skin dupes. This one over here, woman 22 whose eczema was so severe she struggles to open her eyes, praises natural cream for soothing her skin in just a month. Very strong copy. And for this, it doesn't even say product, it just says a natural cream. Praises natural cream. So it just seems as if this person's not promoting a product. She's just stating something helped her. And people who read this be like, oh, I'm interested to know what this product is. And the fact that it says just a month, it shows that it's fast. And people, again, want fast solutions. So they're more likely to click on the link and read more about this, which will take them to an editorial in most cases for this to be effective, where the editorial will basically be the article, which talks about a woman raving about a product. And then at the end of it will be basically a pitch about a product. And then that's when you learn more about the product itself. Again, it's done for this as well for Feel, not Final HRT, calls out failed solutions. This natural menopause supplement, again, doesn't talk about Feel at all. I know the product renders there, but it still doesn't even sell the product at all still. Just suggests it and tease it. Will make you say goodbye to night sweats and hot flushes. So these are symptoms of menopause, which people, again, are trying to move away from. So this basically promises a benefit without even stating the solution. So people who actually want to be relieved from this will go onto the editorial, will click and go to editorial and read more. At the end of the day, The goal of your ads is to get a click. That's all it is. And your landing page or editorial is there to basically sell them further. So just make sure that your headlines basically aren't not clickbaity, but they basically help to encourage the click by creating that, creating that curiosity gap and not closing it. And as you see over here, the rest of them do that. This candle, for example, it doesn't say the candle, it says this candle was like a tomato vine. What a tomato vine does, it just sparks curiosity overall. This £10 shampoo is my favorite, and it's sulfate free. Again, it just talks about the benefits without stating the solution necessarily. People are more likely to want to read more because they want to get that benefit from that product, but don't need to learn more about that product by clicking on the ad. But yeah, I hope you guys found it valuable. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you're interested in premium performance and static ads for your Ecom brand, then make sure to book a call below, where we can discuss further how I can come up with a creative strategy and bring your static ads to life to help you to find winning angles and messaging to help you scale your ad account. But yeah, peace.